So my goal for tonight is to make a couple gallons of a lemon shanty mead. As you can see, I've got a jug back here that I filled full of water, or a reverse osmosis water, since it works as well as spring water does, or at least I believe it will. Well, I dumped out 12 cups into my coffee maker, and it is currently heating up in the coffee maker upstairs right now, while I finish getting everything else started in the bottles and ready to go. I heated up 4 cups of water, put my honey into a bowl, and then poured the hot water around it to help loosen up the honey, so it should pour out fairly well into my jug. I have my 2 jugs there. I've also zested 1 lemon and 1 orange. I cut the lemon and orange apart. The orange pieces I've got broken apart. The lemon was starting to break down, so I've left them as is, and I will shove them into the bottle as I get to them. So hopefully, I know a lot of the recipes I found use 1/3 of a lemon and orange, but I figure 1/2 isn't that far off, and we'll see if it gives me a little bit extra. I'm going to use a little more like Jack Spearco and do 2 different types of yeast, so half of a cuvee yeast and half of a Pasteur or a Champagne yeast, my normal yeast nutrient, and I will put some pectin enzyme, since I am putting in the orange and lemon in it, though usually a mead probably doesn't need the pectin enzyme, especially if it's just honey and water. We'll see where I get from here. Once I get things started in the bottle, I'll try to record a little more. Alright, so I've got the honey in the first bottle. It poured rather well because the water was still hot. Second bottle of honey, I probably should have reheated the water so that it would flow a little better. As you can see here, honey is slowly pouring down into my oranges and lemons, and the zest is in there too. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of honey that's going to be in this mead, and I'm still waiting for the water to warm up. The water in the coffee pot made it to about 110 degrees. I decided that was warm enough. I filled up my honey jar, and now I'm going to pour what's in the honey jar into my jug, and I'll pour the rest of the hot water in. And then from there I'll continue adding a little more water, and I may end up adding my yeast nutrient, pectin enzyme, and my yeast before I finish filling it up with water. We'll see. Alright, so I added all the rest of the hot water, yeast nutrient, 1 teaspoon, and 1/4 teaspoon of pectin enzyme, and then I shook the jar up quite a bit so that the honey and the water are well mixed. You can see the fruit floating on the top, and it's got a nice bubble layer to it. So I finished filling up to just below the handle with water, and I should be able to put an airlock on it, and we'll see where I guess I need to put some yeast in it and then airlock, and we'll see where we go from there. Alright, so it's nicely shook up, and I have an airlock on it, and I have labeled it as Stevens Honey, Pasteur and Cuvée yeast mixed in. It is a summer shanty and was bottled on 3/18. Alright, so I stopped to make supper and wait for the water to get hot for my second jug. And now it's the hot water is put in, it's been shaken and nicely stirred up and corked. And I want to show you this about the first jug that I finished about an hour ago. As you can see, it is already bubbling nicely along. So unlike my ciders that seem to take at least 4 to 6 hours before I see any bubbles, something about having all that sugar in there seems to get the mead going a little faster. We'll see how soon I can this one gets going, but now I've got 2 summer shanties bottled, and we'll see when they clear, because once they clear, then that's when I'll rack them to a secondary and see how they taste. So we'll see from there.